Okay, let's start this, see if we get the same faults. Strange. Okay, so when was actually dropped with the other light here, which is not coming on now, and even this one, it only comes on when I turn the steering. Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. It nearly looks like a deja vu. If you follow the channel, you've seen exact the same car. Well, not the same car. As you can see, this is actually a Land Rover 2006. The other one was a Land Rover, but was the Range Rover Sport 2008. Now, this, when it was dropped here, was actually dropped with all these lights plus the HTC light here on the side, just like the other Land Rover. But now, yeah, and actually when I start the engine, even the ESP light would not come on. It only came on when I turned the steering right and left. Now, I'm gonna have a quick look if this ESP problem is the same as the other Range Rover, the other Land Rover. I'm not going to take you through that. I will just leave a link in the description below for it. That light for the brakes only comes on as well when that comes on. So yeah, on the other Land Rover I mentioned about the brake light. It was a really silly thing that in the end I decided not to record. In this case it only comes on along with that one. So obviously it's just related, but this is not what we're going to focus on. What we're going to focus on is on the suspension. So just before I walked in, I've recorded the height of the car, and as you can see from the footage, the car is completely on his rubber mounts. Is completely dropped, as you can see. And yeah, it's all round dropped. When it was dropped here was at the correct height, and the complaint is that overnight the car just drops like this. So the car was dropped here a few days ago, and it dropped all the way down. Actually the following day was already dropped, as you can see. And yeah, that's really what we're going to try to focus on. So I believe we have this is a hair suspension, by the way. Pneumatic suspension, so I believe that's going to be an air leak somewhere. The question now is going to be, are we going to find it? So first things first, there is some stuff here on the floor, but I don't think these actually came out from this car. It looks more like this was actually bought to fit into this car. It has all the marks, all the oh, sorry about that, guys. It has all the scrapyard marks, and plus the cables have been cut like this, the plugs. So this did not came out from this car, I guess. So yeah, this is the compressor, and then we have some valves in there as well. But I was not told nothing about that. I've only seen that on the seat. Bonnet open. Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, so let's see if I can raise this car to start with. I don't know if he raised the red. I believe he still sank, even though I started the engine. There's no flashing lights here or anything like that. I think just the program. Obviously there is faults, system faults, special programs not available. Nothing else works, so this does not respond, obviously. The low end speed, I need to select neutral for that actually. So yeah, that engages okay. Now let me check if the car already raised this high. Probably it didn't. No, it didn't. It still sank. So let's see if we can raise this, because he told me that once you start the car this would come up, unless, so it shows that I should be on the highest. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so the car is not going to move until bonnet open. Will that be? Nah, it can't be. Let's see why he says the bonnet is open, even though I'm not sure. It might not be closed properly. Okay, so we definitely have the bonnet closed. So I've opened the bonnet and closed it again, but it looks like we have a bad switch. So I don't think the car should drop just because it detects the bonnet open. I think it makes no sense at all. Obviously it's preventing the car from raising. That's another issue, but it should not prevent the car from, it should not make the car to drop during the night. That shouldn't happen. At least I believe that's the way it should work. So for the time being, guys, I don't know exactly what's going on in there, if it's the switch broken or if it's just a bad switch. For now, what we're gonna do for now, okay, let me see. That's just a micro switch which either is going to short the two wires that are connected behind. Let me show you actually. So let's gonna open this bonnet again. Now bear with me, that is raining, the weather is crap, so the switch lives on this side. That's the plug for it. Underneath there it is. That's the plug. Let's pull it out. Okay, let's try to short this and see if that sees the bonnet closed. Then we will deal with the switch later. Okay, shorted those pins for now. So now we don't need to close the bonnet. Let's close the door, see if that works. Oh, there we go. No more bonnet open message. So and the car is red. It's just me or the car is raising. So let's go and have a look. Hold on, let's go out and actually close the door. Is it raising? Nope, not yet. No, not yet. Oh, let me see. Okay, it comes up. Okay, it might be that. Okay, so my lights flash when I try to move. If you can see, maybe off glare. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's kind of scan the car and see why it's not raising. The guy said to me the car would raise once started up in the morning, so I'm a little bit confused right now. Okay, so for that switch, most likely just the switch. I might make a separate video for it, just to show you, but let's kind of scan the car and see what's going on with this. Just a quick note, as I flick through here on my information, I get the actually message for the HDC fault system not available, even though my light is not coming on. It was definitely on when the car was dropped here, which is really strange. So yeah, let's scan this. Okay, and this is not very good. So on a scan, I get no communications with PCM. This is the modules found. It's not a very good start. Oh dear me. So I get no communications with anything. Okay. Low frequency coil. Lost communication with cluster. Network bus circuit 2. Oh dear me. Actually, okay, let me come back from here. This is not very good. It's not a very good start. Okay. Probably is why that light is not coming on anymore. I mean, it's not staying on anymore. I don't have communications with anything. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna get the same fault most likely. Oh, one only. No HDC, no steering angle sensor, no nothing. Wow. Let me see what the fault I'm left with. And the sun decided coming out now. It was raining until about a minute ago. Permanent unused relay drive. Unused relay drive. What the heck's going on with this? So just to show you, powertrain control module, no communications, TCM, no communications. Then even that, there's no communications. But let me go to steering angle sensor, no communications. Where else I have more? This is really strange. This is really strange. Where's my HDC? Huh? HVAC. Vehicle dynamics. It might be that one. No, where is my... Might be that one then. No. Oh, there it is. No, that's the audio. Okay, wow. How I'm gonna do this? It looks like it's gonna be a bigger problem than I thought. Okay, and we are back in business. It looks like it was just the OBD port, the hotel VCI was not just pushed in properly into the OBD connector. Hopefully, or it was just a big coincidence that I just pulled it out, pushed it back in properly, and it worked. So it might be that was just not, was just not pushed in properly. So still there is a few codes everywhere, as we can see. So I have no communication. So let's gonna go quick to my, so there's 2 faults now on my body control module. All terrain, okay, right level control module. Let's gonna go, actually, let's gonna go to that one just to see if my intermittent loss communication internal module. Ooh. Let's start this. So the light only comes on when I turn left and right. So let's gonna go here, see if this is the same problem as the other Range Rover. So that is wrong in there already. It shouldn't be that. It should be 6, I think. So 200. If it goes anywhere above 700 and something, then we have an issue. There we go. And my light comes on straight away. So this is a purely a steering wheel alignment, hopefully. I'll leave a link in the description below for the video on the Range Rover, which most likely is going to be just the same stuff. So not to worry with this. However, I might get this repaired before we continue. Let's start the car. Okay, so no faults. Let's auto scan this. So it looks like we might have a steering angle sensor causing a lot of issues, but let it finish. Oh my god, this video is gonna be so long. And so much talking. Okay, let me pause. Okay, scan is finished. Let's gonna go to my body control module. We have those codes, most likely that relay, whatever that is. We might gonna have a look at that. Okay, so low frequency coil and unused relay drive. Go figure this. We'll have a look at these later, unless this is causing us an issue. On all terrain, let me see what we have. Invalid data received from dynamics, invalid data received from right high level control module. So this is all history. Can I not clear the codes from here? I should be able to do. Okay, clear DTCs. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so will my car raise now? Other than those two faults in there, which I'm not sure what they are. Let's see if the car now raises. And it does. Oh yes, here he comes. You probably can't see it, but here he comes up. Actually quite, there we go. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like he's gonna raise the front now. I don't know if you can see the car there at the front. Just coming up. If you look at the fence, he's definitely coming up way slower at the front. But he's coming up, so I put it all the way up now. All the way. Let me see if it raises. So he's raising the rear of the car now. Let's see if he raises the front. Yeah, it's coming up. It's gonna look at the outside actually. Oh no, because if I open the door, it should be alright anyway. Oh, it just fails raising, but he's really slow raising the front. Ooh. So that's better now. This is the front. Alright, so looks like it's that steering angle that is allowing everything to fail. Oh dear me. So we got a long video ready just to establish some of the issues with the car. So let's gonna go just quick here. There is no tests to do live data. There is no tests to do on the at least with the Maxis. Probably JLR would have, but okay, so reservoir, okay. Okay, so basically okay, so it says there's nothing detected. Long pressure raising, long pressure. Okay. Looks like we're gonna have to do a smoke test maybe in the long run. So oh dear, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. This is not going very well. This is probably the third time I'm trying to record this properly. I'm going to not use about 25 minutes of footage, as you can see, all those clips. I might going to reuse just a couple, but because this is a prime example of what happens when you don't do any investigation work before you start recording, which if you follow my channel, you know is the way I do my videos. I don't ever go before, try to figure out what's wrong so I can then look like if I know everything when I'm doing the video. That's not the case, but in this case, guys, I really had to, because I was just going back and forwards with different issues, trying to figure out what was going on, and it was not being great. Honestly, it wouldn't make a very good video or videos. This car came with a few issues, and the first issue was the suspension wouldn't raise. So the car was completely dropped because of, I believe there is an air leak in the system, which I'll show you in a minute, but which actually is going to be what this video is going to be about. Is going to be for the suspension, but the car wouldn't even kick in to raise the car because of an issue with the bonnet. That will be a separate video. For now, I bodged it to work, as you need to have the bonnet closed and all the door closed in order for the suspension to either raise or drop, otherwise it won't do nothing. So I had to bodge that. That will be a separate video, just stay tuned, you'll find that video. Another issue with the car, just as a curiosity, or I might make videos for that, parking sensors are not working. It's coming up with the light flashing. I haven't scanned the car yet, so not really sure what it is, but just to mention that, the guy might want me to look at it. There was an issue with the steering sensor. For some reason, I had to calibrate these about 3 times until the steering actually goes within the range from lock to lock. The first time it came out of range when I turned full lock to right the second time. It would just keep coming out of the range. So anyway, after a few attempts of calibrating, I mean, it was successfully every time I would calibrate, but as you turn the steering, was just drifting, the readings would start to drift and would come out of range. At the moment looks okay, so I'm quite happy with that. So we're going to focus on the actually suspension. So the complaint is that the car overnight drops completely. So the car was dropped here a few days ago, and as you can see, this morning when I got to the car was completely sunk into the wheel arches, which is the complaint. Apparently that happens overnight, which I actually confirm it does happen overnight. Go here in the morning, started the car. For that reason, the car wouldn't raise, but forget about that for now. So the car raises to the right levels, etc, etc, but obviously there is an air leak. That's the only explanation. This has one of those pneumatic air suspensions. So as you can see, I was not told about that when the car was dropped. I only seen that this morning actually. But this looks like a scrapyard one actually, as you can see. So this has been cut. This has been cut. You can see the scrapyard marks in there with the white mark or Tapex, wherever that is. There's a valve assembly here at the back as well. I don't know if this came out from this car, and it might be that this was already replaced, or if they bought this thinking that would be the problem. I'm not 100% sure, guys. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's that, or even if it belongs to this car. As you've seen from my videos, I just had another Range Rover not long ago, and it was actually from the same guy. So it might be that this is from a different car. I don't know. Anyway, let me show you, as for the air suspension, why I think there is a leak. So I'm going to load some live data. I'm already here, but I'm going to organize these live data and start the car, by the way. Yeah, so let's going to load some live data, and I will show you why I think there is an issue with there's just a low washer fluid. Why I think there is an issue, or there is an air leak. Just hold a second. Okay, so I've selected all the live data I wanted, but I want it to look, well, you can see already, front right corner height, and you're going to see here that very, very shortly It's gonna kick in. And there we go, it's dropping again. So let me actually, so the compressor was working, is not working now. But it's gonna, so the reservoir, so let's gonna go look there. I can hear the compressor kicking in now. Or is just me now? No, not yet. That's the actually coolant, the radiator fan. But as you can see, there we go, it's kicking again. So I have a feeling that there is a leak somewhere in there. So let's gonna have a look at the actually car itself. Let me open this window and perhaps take the maxi seats with us. Oh dear. I can see the car dropping, guys. When I look, oh, I can see it dropping, constantly dropping. You might not gonna be able to see on camera. I can definitely visibly, by naked eye, see the car dropping. Let me see if he kicks in. There we go. I can hear the leak, guys. I can even hear the leak here. So don't know if it's gonna be the actually airbag or some hoses. We'll have to have a look. There is definitely an air leak here somewhere. Yep, 100%. There is an air leak. I can even hear the leak. I think the best way is probably see if I can do this with the engine off. But let me see how we're gonna do, and I will then show you how we're gonna find this leak. It looks like the car detects some sort of fault because it raises the car a couple times and then it just comes up with these flashing lights in there. Let's see if it raises any trouble codes. No, it doesn't, which is weird, but let me go back, try this again, just in case if he needs to. Nope, he's not raising any codes, but there is definitely a leak somewhere. So let me actually raise the car all the way up again, and we're gonna go there with the camera. So it's all the way up now. Oh, you can hear it, definitely. Hope that came on camera. Gonna have to take this wheel out. I hope that whistling noise comes on camera. It looks like the actually airbag anyway. Okay, so can you hear it? There is a leak. There is no need to do any other test. There is a leak here, 100%. Yeah, there is a leak here, 100%. So this thing needs changing. To change this, there is a bolt here, and then looks like you have access from the top to remove what? How the heck you take these out? 1, 2. There's 2 in the center. Like there's 2 nuts here at the top. Look at it. Okay, so, but first of all, let me see if we can get one of this. Alright, so definitely a leak. No questions asked. No questions about it. He stopped now. He definitely stopped now. Okay, and I got hold of another one of this. Well, the owner actually did. Guaranteed me that's in good condition, it's not leaking. So the way I removed this is a pain in the ass to get to these bolts here. Special one right here at the back. It is nearly impossible to remove the hose with the strut in place. So what I've done is I've unplugged it over here at the back, remove it from his root, which goes behind this support here, and then once you have everything removed, obviously the bolt at the bottom, as you drop these, you just root, you just fed the hose through, and then obviously down here it gives you plenty of room to take the hose off, and obviously now we're just going to take the old one out, put that one in, and then just screw the hose while he's here, and then just route everything back in. Okay, so in the meantime I've tested this one to see if there's any leaks. I don't know if this is the right way to testing it, at least is the way I did it. This is the second time I'm doing it, just to show you on camera. So what I've done is I put the strut upside down, fill it with water all the way around, as you can see, and then I just pumped some air. I'm holding a little bit of air still, but I had these here filled in with air for about 2 or 3 minutes just to see if I could see any water bubbling. There's nothing, so I'm going to take my finger off, and that just goes down obviously. So yeah, no leaks were found, which is good. I've done also the same on the opposite side, which I believe there's nothing. On this here right at the top, I've done it earlier here. There is no leaks, just to make sure before I put it in. But I will do the same on the old one, just once more to show you where it's leaking. But yeah, this is how I've tested it, and it looks like there is no leaks. Okay, and the replacement is now there, all fitted, airline ready, proper routed, etc, etc. It's going to put the liner back in now, and then just before we tested it, we are going to do a last test on this one, on the old one, just see if we can actually visually see the leak. Will be interesting, I guess. But yeah, for now, let's gonna finish this off. Okay, and one last test on the old one. I've already seen where the leak is, so I'm just gonna put a little bit. You don't need a lot of pressure for you to see the leak right there at the back. Look at that. Can you see that? It looks like it's the only one. And there he is, guys, no doubts. So, no doubts before, but everything is back in place. So what we're going to do now is start the core and look at that live data, make sure the car doesn't drop anymore. yeah, I think that was the reason why it didn't raise straight away. That wheel, as you've seen, was completely sunk because I've been here turning the steering, etc., and it just made a hole in there. That side, obviously, I've raised the gravel while I had the wheel off, but as soon as I reversed, as you might have seen on the camera, I got a message straight away saying vehicle raising slowly, and as you've seen now, it's pretty much at the right height. I'm just gonna pull it forward so I can actually get that gravel proper done. There's a little bit more, maybe. That should be enough. Yep. Okay, so let me get that gravel on there so I can get the vehicle, the car, as leveled as possible, and then we're going to look at the live data, turn the car off, and see if we lose anything. Right, I have the car here now running for a good 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I've raised and lowered the car a couple times to make sure it was working okay. It came out okay, no problems, no warnings, no nothing. I've leveled that the gravel on that wheel over there because obviously it was still a little bit of deep in there. So the car's pretty much all leveled all the way around. I mean the wheels, the floor, I would say, except for the rear passenger side, because I have a little bit of concrete right there on my front door on the floor, and that's a little bit higher than the gravel, so that wheel is a little bit higher. But and before we move on into the live data, just a quick thing. The system at this point, I would say, needs calibrating. Okay, this is, I'm gonna leave it here on the screen. This is how you calibrate. I'm not gonna continue here, but straight away from there tells you that it needs to be on a flat surface, etc., etc. And I'm not going to do this because even when I have concrete on my driveway, is on a slope, it might not be 100% leveled. I got a lot of criticism when I did the C5, when I just roughly did a calibration on a ride level, and I got absolutely criticized for that, even though I mentioned on the video and I told the owner, make sure you go somewhere on a flat elevator maybe, and where you can actually raise the car, and then but the car is completely flat, so you can take the right measurements to calibrate the car. But people doesn't care about it. They just care about what I've done on the video, even though I did it purely just so the guy could take the car away. In this case, the car, when you look visually, the car doesn't look too bad, okay? The car actually looks quite leveled. As you can see, on the driver's side, rear and front, looks quite good. On the passenger side, front and rear, it looks pretty much the same gap between the top of the tire and the actually wheel arch. So it doesn't look too bad, but bear in mind that I'm going to advise the guy that he needs to take the car into a flat bed to get it proper calibrated. So bear in mind that, okay, before you write any criticism. Yes, we changed the strut and the car needs calibrating, but for now, all I'm going to do is going to load some live data so we can have a look at the levels. We'll turn the car off and we'll see if we have any drop. It might be that there is another leak. I don't know. I hope not, but I think we're just going to check it. I can't find on the Maxi Cs any sort of test to see if there's any leaks. I know, for example, the Airmatic from Mercedes, there is a test procedure that tests for leaks. I can't see that here, so yeah, I think I'm gonna have to just go by looking at the live data. So let's gonna load the live data and have a look at it. Okay, and I've loaded the live data that I believe we need to look to see if there's any obvious leaks. As I said, and I repeat to myself, I can't find nothing on the Maxi Cs to actually do some sort of testing for that. Some of you might gonna say JLR does have that function. JLR is the OEM software for Land Rover. It might be that it does. I don't have JLR, so I don't know. But yeah, if you remember before, you could see the voltage, sorry, the high dropping straight away as soon as we would turn the engine off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at it again. The live data I have here is calorie pressure, then we have the high in millimeters of the four corners, and then we have the voltage signal from the level sensors from the four corners as well. So let's gonna turn the engine off, key on, because I think if I don't leave the key on, there we go. So the voltage is quite sensitive. It goes to the two digits after the main voltage, 2 decimal digits. So I'm going to look at the millimeters, 51, 38, 37, 58. As you can see, is holding. Obviously, if I shake the car, you might see those voltages changing a little bit. There we go. So I need to stand still. Now, when you turn the engine off, I guess you would expect some sort of settling, special when as the pressure. I'm not sure. I think the gallery is skipping is the actually compressor side, that little gallery after the compressor, similar to the Mercedes. The compressor is actually, so the gallery is going to be, so this is the compressor itself. This is the gallery here. Well, let me show you. So it works just like a normal compressor. So this underneath, the silver part is the motor. Then you have a compressor here at the front. And then you have this sort of gallery here, which this is hollow. It does have a filter. And this is the gallery. I think this is what they call the gallery, which is where the pressure sensor, there's a pressure sensor here somewhere. Now this is a valve. Where's the pressure sensor? It must be a pressure sensor somewhere, I think. Oh, there it is. No, it isn't. It must be a sensor somewhere, I guess. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Oh, unless it's measured over there, whatever is linked straight. So, yeah, it's holding. Now, if we have an extremely small leak, yes, it's going to take ages to find. Now, let me tell you one thing that happened while the car was here with the front strut, with the front thingy disconnected, which was that the car took about 2 days to sink completely. So as you've seen when I've started to record the car racing, the rear, the way the rear was especially, it took about 2 days to get to that level. But I believe that these modules, these valves, which is one at the front as you have seen, and there's going to be one at the rear, I believe this is the rear one. These valves might not be 100% sealed. So when you turn the car off, etc., etc., it might be that they slowly allow air to pass. Now, where the air is going to go to the lowest pressure point. In this case, because we had a massive leak on the front driver side, that's where the pressure would run into. So the car would slowly drop. Now, while I had the car here without the strut even connected, because I left it disconnected from the valve module, obviously, again, the air pressure would drop into that point. Now that we have all the 4 struts in place, if there is no leak, it will be just like a car. All the 4 corners are going to be kind of linked one way or another with the valves. But if any of the valves passes, that air is going to try to go to the struts, which is the last point that's going to hold the air. If there is no leaks, the car will hold is high. Bear in mind that any of these air suspensions, if you have the car off for really extended periods of time, it will drop regardless. It's like a car tire. It doesn't matter if you have no leaks. Over time, that air will escape through the tire. So not different with the air suspensions. I'm not sure how long it should take or what is acceptable for the drop on a car like this. Never researched it. I think if I had one of these, if it takes 3 or 4 days to drop, or I wouldn't be too bothered with it. As far as soon as you start, raise up, that's it. But as you can see, still pretty much where it was, so not too bothered. The car is now off for about 5 minutes. Yeah, ideally now, guys, I'm gonna see what I can do, because ideally I would leave the car here now for a few days to see how long it would take to drop, and I would obviously get back to you. I don't think that's going to be possible, because the guy is absolutely desperate to get the car back, and as you might have seen that flashing, we still have an issue to resolve on this car before I give it back to the owner. So the guy's a little bit desperate. He's been ringing me quite often, so I need to get this done. But I guess if the car comes back, I will let you know. Or just look on the description of the video. I might put some sort of update in there, let you know what happened. But I'm really happy that we found the issue that quick. In the end, just a front strut that was leaking, as you have seen. So I think that's it for this video, guys. I'm happy that the car is now really dropping, so it's holding, is high. I'm gonna start the car again so the battery doesn't get low. But yeah, so that's it really for this video, guys. In the end, just that leaking there. So with no further ado, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope there's some information on this video that you guys can find useful. If you do still have any comments, any questions, please put them below, and like always, thank you for watching.